Boston Bruins defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-5 in overtime on Tuesday night. I'm Conor Ryan of BostonSportsJournal.com, here to give you just a couple of takeaways from what was, without a doubt, the biggest win of the early season for the Bruins and one of their most probably improbable wins we've seen in quite some time. And this is just a win for the Bruins where you look at everything that kind of went south for this team for most of this game. Just seems like one of those games that sprout up over an 82 game season where you can just be like, it's not their night, right? Whether it's obviously the Bruins losing both Jeremy Swayman and Derek Forbort to injuries and just the natural hit that is in terms of just, the on ice production, but as well as just, the natural morale of losing two guys and, two key cogs in your lineup. You factor in the situation where Linus Ullmark has his first real substandard game of the season. A situation where he gets pulled in the second period after giving up 5 goals. Granted, the defensive structure in front of him also was not great. He looked early on in this game. DeBrusk had a bad back-checking effort that led to the Crosby goal early on. You had Anton Strawman had a few missed reads. Even like Hampus Lindholm, who we will get to in a minute, was not really sharp with Brendan Carlo on that top pairing to start this game. I think Pittsburgh outscored the Bruins 3-0 in the first two periods during 5-on-5 play when Lindholm was out there. So just seemed like a game where nothing's going right. You're, beaten on the ice. You're battered in terms of your roster and your situation there. Game where you can just easily pack it in, make things interesting, kind of like how it was in that game against Ottawa, where the Bruins give up 7 goals, but score a couple, make it close down the stretch. You take some of the silver linings out of a game like that, where you show a little bit of resolve, but in the end, too much is working against you. That was not the case tonight, and in what has been, I think, a recurring theme for this team, amid all of the talk about their early dominance. Before tonight, I think they haven't trailed in 7 of their 9 wins. You're seeing depth throughout the lineup, which again happened tonight as well. You had Lauko get on the board, which is the 16th different goal scorer for the Bruins. But one thing throughout the various ways in which the Bruins have won games, right? Whether it's these high scoring games, defending leads in the third period, strong defensive showings. What you've seen throughout this season so far is a lot of resolve and a lot of fight in this team. And that was evident tonight, right? I mean, for all that went wrong for them to, get that late goal in the second period from Brad Marchand on the power play and then build off of that in the third period where, for the first 10 minutes, it seemed like this was just a game that was waiting to get over, right? Where just, a lot of, chipping the puck down the ice, not a lot was going on. The Bruins obviously are reeling after losing Swayman. And what happens is, down that final 10 minutes, Bruins really don't give up that much in their own zone. Ullmark was sharp getting back into the game. You get that goal from Zacha where he tips a Lindholm shot. And then in the final, 2 minutes of regulation after Ullmark pulled, Taylor Hall, first shot on goal of the game for him. Great hand-eye coordination and buries that puck past Tristan Jarry, who surprisingly did not tumble or do a somersault when that happened. But for them to even get a point out of a game like that for all that went wrong would have been an incredible achievement for this team that really hasn't let a lot of things that have gone south for them, snowball into tangible losses or tangible setbacks on the ice. And then to go out there and win this game too. Ullmark, stands tall in overtime. The PK does its job. And then Hampus Lindholm end to end snaps a puck past Jarry. Rough start for Lindholm, but finishes with 4 points. He's over a point per game guy now, had over 29 minutes of ice time. And listen, when Charlie McAvoy gets back, you can't understate his value to this team and what he's going to bring. But if you're the Bruins, I think one thing that, further, I think probably comforts you is the fact that it's pretty cut and dry that you have 2 number 1 defensemen on this team. Like, again, McAvoy is in the tier of his own. He's a top 5 guy in the league, but Lindholm's an elite talent, a guy that can eat a lot of minutes for you, can chip in offensively, strong in his own end. And you've got 2 legit building blocks there for this year and for the years ahead on your defense with him in place there. So really, it's one of those games where the Bruins had absolutely no business even getting a point out of this. And to leave with 2 points is quite the achievement. Obviously, you still put a little bit of a damper on it in terms of you don't have Jeremy Swayman and Derek Forbort after the game. Jim Montgomery didn't have really any updates in terms of their timelines, how long they're going to miss. Fulbert seems like a puck hit off his arm or his wrist, so see how long that is. You hope nothing's broken there. And then for Swayman, really unfortunate. One situation he's even in the game at that point, but to have his leg and knee kind of bend back against the post like that, you hope that it's just a hyperextension or something with his leg, but when you see something like that bend, you obviously assume the worst in terms of, hopefully it's not muscle tears or ligament damage. So I'm sure the Bruins are doing their due diligence with testing now. Even if I think Swayman misses a week or so, if not a little bit more, it's probably the best case scenario. The worst thing you want there is for having him to miss an extended amount or a majority of the season. So the Bruins will be, crossing their fingers that doesn't happen. But in just the short term of just looking at this game and the next kind of gut check that the Bruins have passed, to have all this go haywire for this team, to lose a guy like Swayman, to lose a guy like Fulbert, who I think most Bruins fans would agree has been, incredible in terms of what his role has been on this team, on this decor to start the season. To bounce back through all that adversity and to come away with 2 points against a Penguins team that, yes, they're in a bit of a rut, right? They've lost, they're an extended losing streak as well, but still have a veteran established pedigree, still a team that would not surprise anyone to be in the playoffs once again. To do that on the road against something like this with so much not working in your favor. Just the last, the latest in a long line, I think, of examples of why I think people should be buying in on this team in terms of its ability to win in a number of ways, to fight through adversity and to come out on top. Again, it's early in the season. We'll see kind of the various other twists and turns that happen over a long year. But if you're a Bruins fan, I think you have to be overjoyed with the way they played in this game and how they fought back. So, of course, we'll have all coverage of this game and every game moving forward over at bostonsportsjournal.com. So please subscribe over there for all your daily Bruins content. Thanks, guys.